welcome to another edition of the Alden Report. My name is Michael Alden. We are here in Blue Bay Studios. Really excited for my next guest. He is a classic entrepreneur. He's been in New York. He's been in big business. He's been in big advertising. He is the founder of Eat Media, which is eatmedia.com. It's a really, really cool name. He's a pioneer, really, in social marketing and media. Again, please welcome my next guest, David Cutler. David, thanks for being my guest. Can you hear me? You good?
I'm cool.
Sometimes I put the headphones on, but you can keep them off. Yeah. So, David, if you haven't seen some of these interviews here, one of the things I like to do is kind of go through a series of questions, kind of pre-written questions, and we'll kind of take it from there. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
all right, is that good with you?
Great,
all right, great. So first question, David, I like to ask people, especially successful people, how do you define success?
Finding better ways to do business.
Okay.
The beauty of business these days is that we get to hang out with really great technologies and great people. So what I like to do is bring those people together to come up with new ways to solve problems. It takes a village. There are financial people in the room, technology people, marketing people. The more you bring together, the more likely you're going to be able to satisfy solving a problem.
Sure. So it's and so I think kind of what you're saying, it's about the journey. It's really about the struggle. It's about getting there. That's really the success for you. And I hear that from people a lot.
I think it's. Yeah, I think no, actually not really.
No?
I like nailing it. I like going, wow, we actually figured that out, and
right.
It was hard, and we did it because we brought everyone together.
Sure.
Instead of only a few of the people together, and then going out and finding out that you didn't actually get the whole thing right. Whether it's building a new technology platform or doing a promotion or marketing, the more you get into that initial conversation around the table, not number of people, number of voices, number of concepts. I think that is what I call success, because then you actually satisfy all the real problems that are out there.
So I'm trying to dial it down. I'm trying to figure out exactly what it is again. So it's solving a problem, getting people together, and to help to solve the problem, and actually solving the problem.
Yeah. So that's I'm glad you helped define that, because I think the core of it is that we're all kind of screwed. Digital is screwing everyone up. All the business models that you have are different now.
Right.
So how do you tackle these new opportunities with all the digital connectivity?
Right.
We can't just silo it and have each individual department or concept kind of figure out for themselves.
Right.
We got to kind of get together. That's why I say it takes a village.
Right.
So I think, to answer your question specifically, I like solving problems in new ways, and the only way to do that is with a group, with multiple elements of it.
Sure.
And that's what I call success.
All right.
And there's my partner now.
I sometimes tell people to keep their phones on, because we're real people doing real stuff, David. Now, the next...
I heard that.
Yeah. The next question I have for you, and I think this is an important one, especially, again, someone who's been out there and doing real stuff like you. What is your biggest professional obstacle, and how did you overcome it?
Besides talking too much?
Sure.
Yeah, because that's probably my main
My mouth gets me in trouble a lot.
I consider it a feature,
okay.
actually.
Yeah.
I think it's... success comes from, as I said, pulling together all these different elements.
Right.
Is that me still? I apologize for that.
That's okay.
Okay. I get ahead of myself because I'm looking at the future. I'm looking at what's around the corner.
Right.
And for a while, I realized that I need to actually make time for looking at the now.
Right.
So that is the obstacle that I had to overcome.
Sure.
And how I do it is actually reevaluating what my assumptions were.
Sure.
So that's why I kind of set those times up.
So that's interesting, and I hear that a lot from entrepreneurial spirits like you, that you're able to become self-aware, essentially, right? Is that what you're saying?
That's
and step back and say, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, or maybe I should be doing that, right?
Right.
That's interesting. A lot of people don't have that. They just go through their day to day, and they think they're always right and they're doing the right thing, but yet they're spinning their wheels and doing the same exact thing, and they're stuck in the same exact spot their whole life, right?
The answer is what you're doing right now with me.
Right.
You're meeting interesting people. You're meeting new people.
Right.
And hopefully, if they're the right people, they're going to kick your ass when needed.
Right.
Right. And that's what we're talking about here.
Right.
Bringing in those voices of trusted advisors and friends and people that have earned the right to not just be a yes man, yes friend, yes consultant, yes customer. And I think that's what we're doing right now.
Next question. Again, I get this one. I hear a lot of different answers from here, but I mean, you've worked on Madison Avenue. You've been in New York. You've been around big business. And we're here in just outside of Boston, where some of the best educational facilities in the world, both here in Boston and New York. Is traditional education important for business success?
I'll say all education has value,
Okay.
but the most valuable is hands-on, real-world experience.
Sure.
You can build your own wisdom, finding
Right.
out what works for you.
That makes sense.
Is that a fair punt?
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense. You know, I tell this story. You know, I graduated college and realized I wanted to go to law school, but then I didn't really have a plan. And then I get to law school, and I got to my last year of law school, realized I have no idea how to be a lawyer. And you know, for me. I love the process. I love the education. I love the ability to train your mind, I think, which is pretty awesome. But the interesting thing was that you don't see when you're in that whole thing is that you can get the same, like you said, same type of experience outside of traditional educational institutions.
Right.
And then after that, we had talked about this before with someone else, that there is so much more to learn.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think you are a learner,
Right.
as definition.
Sure.
And I think that is one of the most important things to nurture in yourself, to be a constant learner.
Right. Now, this question, again, I'm pretty sure I know the answer for you because you are a digital marketing guru. This is kind of what you do, but I'm going to ask it anyway. In your business, what is the most effective form of marketing?
Well, I'm gonna counter that by saying it's the handshake.
Really?
Right? It's
Okay.
not digital.
Okay.
Right? So I've used every form of marketing.
Right.
And succeeded most with one-on-one, where
Right.
you actually get to the truth and find out what people really need. So I'm an advocate of the handshake.
So you're a digital marketing guy who believes that really the face-to-face is really the most important part.
It's actually what we're all getting at,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if you use digital well, you're actually getting closer to those analog, real experiences.
Right.
That's what I see the value of digital.
Sure.
Is to let you get closer to that real need.
Right.
We're analog. We're not digital.
Sure.
We're real people. We deserve to have that one-on-one.
That makes a lot of sense. Stress, entrepreneurial spirits like yourself and myself and others that we talk to, stress is a big factor just in the world. They call it the silent killer. But I find, and I've done a lot of research about this, that entrepreneurs are burdened with stress more so than pretty much any type of profession. How do you handle stress? You look like a fit guy. What do you do to handle stress?
I like to hang out with my best friend, who
Okay.
I met in high school, my wife.
Oh, all right.
So getting away from agendas with
Sure.
her is probably the best way.
Right.
I also like to make music sometimes with my son when he lets me join one of his bands.
Okay.
So I'll
What do you
shape it
play?
up. A little bit of everything.
Yeah?
Bass, guitar, harmonica. I run a music festival in Rockport, so it's a way to
Okay.
hang out with people, so you can all come out and join.
All right.
Joining the jamboree.
Sure.
I'm also a kind of an abstract photographer.
Okay.
And that allows me to slow down in this crazy, chaotic world.
Right.
And just kind of see the art that's around me, which
Sure.
is everywhere. So that allows me to kind of get my heart rate down and
Right.
stop jamming all the time.
So that's interesting. So it's kind of like having hobbies, really, what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Fun stuff that you enjoy. I mean, the answer of hanging out with your best friend and your wife was awesome. And if she's watching, I'm sure she's gonna love that. She's gonna love that one. And having a hobby. My uncle is a professional photographer, and I love looking at people's work after it. For me, that's pretty awesome when you're able to just. Step back and look at it.
We have a good formula for society, actually.
A what?
A formula
Oh,
for society. It's called
yeah.
weekends.
Right.
Right? Take them.
Yeah.
Unplug.
Sure.
Get away.
Yeah.
Recharge. It's amazing what Monday becomes. Enthusiastic Monday versus.
So do you
oh, no
do you
Monday.
unplug on weekends?
Never. I've never unplugged. No, I'm kidding around. I do
Yeah.
occasionally, and
Yeah.
it takes me a couple days to unplug.
Right.
I can't do it just on Saturday and Sunday. I need a 3 or 4 day weekend, and then finally I realize that for a few days in there I can.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's interesting. I have real trouble actually going on vacation. It takes me about 4 days, and then you realize you only have a couple days left. Yeah.
So maybe the answer is to take those weekends.
Right.
And then you may not meet needs.
Take the time off when you can and when you should. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
This next sentence I like to ask people: if my company lacks blank, then we will not succeed.
I'd say enthusiastic ideas,
Okay.
because they make the world go round. Right.
Enthusiastic ideas. I like that.
One of the riffs that you and I had before we started this interview was getting that trust. I was going to say trust. If you
Sure.
don't have trust and you have nothing.
Right.
But I think that's for a different time.
Right.
Unless you want to dig into it.
Well, I mean, we'll dig into whatever comes our way. So enthusiastic ideas. I mean, your business is again, you're a digital marketing guy, and like you said, it's evolving, it's changing, and you have to be enthusiastic about what you're doing, right? And you have to have new ideas because things are constantly changing. It makes total sense to me. What advice would you give young people in the workforce on how to grow? And the reason why I bring that up is because, and I hate to keep picking on them, the Y generation, the millennials, but I just see it every single day, and it kind of scares me. I think a lot of people, I call it the MTV generation, they see the successes of some of these movie stars and celebrities or what have you, and they feel as though it's an overnight success. And I heard someone recently once say that their success was an overnight 10-year success.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give young people in the workforce right now on how to grow? What do they need to do?
I think a couple of things. One is be true to themselves and
Okay.
know their own personality and follow that. So
Okay.
they find themselves doing things where their personality can fit.
Okay.
So everyone can be different that way, and you can kind of honor who you really are. But the other thing to talk about the youth young-minded people that I know is they're rule breakers, right? And I think honor that, break rules. There's lots of rules out there that need to be broken.
Sure.
I mean, as we were saying before, with the digital environment that we're in, most business models have changed and shifted.
Right.
And people don't quite know what to do about
Because
that.
people broke the rules.
Yeah, well, right, exactly. So we
Yeah.
have this environment where there are new rules that need to be made. So
Right.
my advice to youth, the youth, or I'd like to say young-minded, because we're all should be youthful,
Right.
is to honor that and break some rules, ignore rules, and fix things in new ways.
Now, I think about that, and I think about running a business like I do, and I have a lot of these millennials, and as you're saying that, I'm saying to myself, I don't know that I want my people breaking the rules. Can you qualify that by breaking?
Maybe that's an agenda for
Yeah.
us to talk about,
Yeah.
or for you to talk about.
Sure.
These are the rules you can't break, and
Right.
these are the rules you can break. And
Right.
actually admitting it. So we get
Sure.
back to the truth is,
Right.
these are the rules we cannot break. We have
Right.
to wear this, we do this,
Right.
we show up here,
Right.
these are our quotas and all those things. Those
Right.
are rules you cannot break. And
Sure.
admitting that. But that means everything besides these rules, these core values sometimes. Companies develop these core values, which are kind of rules that we live by.
Right.
And after you kind of not stop rolling your eyes at them, you realize, you know what, those are really important things because that's where your foundation is.
Right.
And everything else above that, you can build based upon current needs, changes in the marketplace, shifts.
Sure.
And maybe that's a better way to deal with them. So
Right.
lay down the rules,
Right.
but also say that
These are the hard and fast rules, and these ones you can kind of bend or
Yeah,
break.
admit it, maybe.
Right. All right, that makes sense. Now, can you give me or our viewers and listeners a secret strategy or business technique that makes your company more efficient? The reason why I ask that question is I think one of the biggest challenges in business is implementation and being efficient in doing that. I always talk about, don't confuse activity with accomplishment.
Right.
What can you give us as a secret strategy or business technique that makes people more efficient?
I think it's a two-part thing.
Okay.
One is to listen.
Sure.
And listen and find and determine what's going on in an environment yourself.
Sure.
Not with what you read, not with what you know or you study, because you got to look things up and prepare. But make your own judgment on the person you're talking to or in the environment.
Right.
Once you have that truth, hopefully, in your mindset, I think then you apply those enthusiastic ideas I was talking about,
Okay.
and inspire people with them.
Sure.
And get them excited,
Right.
but also remember to be inspired
Right.
by people, by new technologies, don't get set in your ways. Don't think you have all the answers, but be open to being inspired. So I think it's listening, knowing what to listen for, but ultimately getting enthusiastic about things.
Sure.
And seeing how they work, but being inspired yourself kind of ties in a lot of these things we're talking about.
Yeah, it kind of ties into what you said is being true to themselves as well, right? And having, would you say passion is important, enthusiasm, passion, almost kind of the same thing
Yeah.
about what you're doing,
Yeah.
right?
Well, you mentioned stress being a key killer,
Sure.
and it really is. People don't like to talk about it
Right.
because you're not supposed to be stressed. You're
Right.
supposed to have your act together and be
Right.
cool. Well, if you have these little breaks called weekends, or you have these little moments of being inspired and excited about something, those are like little vacations if you dig it.
Right. All right, that makes sense. Now, this question again, it's a little bit redundant, but I do seem to get different answers, and that's kind of why I ask it. Again, you're a digital marketing guy. In this day and age, what do you find is the best form of communication with your customers? What do you find that it is?
I can't deny it, but it's
Yeah.
the mobile phone.
It is, okay, yeah.
If you have to pick a medium,
Sure,
yes.
right.
It's amazing instant gratification done right, and
Right.
I underline done right, because using Facebook to communicate on mobile, you're not controlling that. That's
Right.
using another platform. I'm saying using your own and building
Sure.
your own custom web experiences for people. It could be a mobile app, it could be a mobile responsive site, and we'll
Sure.
talk about that if you want. But ultimately, you're being able to communicate with someone based upon their proximity.
Right.
And that's really amazing.
Yeah.
It's the right information, the right time, the right place.
Right.
So proximity marketing
Sure.
itself is awesome.
I like that, yeah. So yeah, I mean, it really is a tool that can be used effectively in communication and marketing and everything, and we're all kind of tied to them. But
Where's your phone? Not too far from you.
yeah,
right now.
exactly. I started to have a little bit of anxiety. Where's my phone? There it is, right
Hi.
there. Yeah. All right, now if you could leave our viewers and listeners with one piece of advice in business, other than what you've already said here, the enthusiastic ideas, be inspired, listen, what else is there that you can leave our viewers? One thing that they can do, whether you're the CEO, whether you're working at a fast food restaurant, or you're somewhere in between, give us that one tidbit that you think anybody can benefit from.
That's a big question there.
Sure, that's why I ask it.
I think doing your homework and concentrating on something that's called, I stole it from Harvard Business Review many years ago, the strategic sweet spot.
Okay.
Right? Your unique selling proposition, your
Right.
unique value proposition.
Sure.
And what that is doing your homework around three elements of a Venn diagram. One is you and what you can offer, and being honest about that, knowing who you are and what
Sure.
you offer. The second intersection circle is with your clients, and doing your homework about what they really need, what they say they need versus what they really need, and what they're going to buy and how they buy it.
Right.
And the third is competition or distractions to what you're offering to them.
Right.
So that sweet spot is not in the center.
Right.
It's actually on that side where you offer the best of the world to your clients and what they need that your competitors don't.
Sure.
So concentrate on where your competitors can't be or aren't.
Right.
And that sweet spot, it changes with every conversation you
Right.
have or every project you have, and you owe it to yourself to define those three elements.
So really, what's unique about your business, and it's what's unique about what you're offering that other people can't offer because you're you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So
Yeah.
be aware of that and where you fit into that world.
And you use that to your advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Now, before I let you go, David, tell me a little bit about Eat Media. I love the name of the company. Again, I said you're a digital marketer. You're a pioneer. You've been on Madison Avenue. You've been around big advertising. Tell us a little bit about Eat Media, what you guys do, and how you help people.
Sure. Well, the big picture is it's about technology and,
Sure.
and how to use it and not be abused by it. That's where the name Eat Media came from.
Sure.
So it's eat or be eaten is
Okay.
kind of the angle.
All right.
And there's a digital buffet, so that's another metaphor that works.
Right.
How do you choose what to have? There's so much you can have.
Right.
And you have to be healthy, so you don't eat it all. You eat what you should.
Right.
And there's caterers and there's other metaphors that fit into that you can trust and rely on.
Right.
So Eat Media is my personal brand.
Sure.
My parent company is Creative Business Development.
Okay.
So that is the umbrella across all of these different partners that I work with.
Sure.
Like Beacon Street Partners,
Yeah.
Superior Promotions, Marketing Communication Tech Labs, Marcom Tech Labs. These are different entities, different groups and partners that I work around that are trusted advisors, trusted vendors and partners, like I was talking about at the head of this
Sure.
conversation, that team that you need to actually get stuff done these days.
Right.
And most important of anything else is I can trust them.
Sure.
They will not just agree with me.
Right.
They will call me out, they will add value to it, and they're bringing the best of what they know. And the end result is an environment where you can be yourself and you can be your best.
Sure.
Not worried about being wrong, because you have people who are going to catch you at that, and therefore you get better with every conversation.
Right. All right, that makes sense. So if people are out there, they don't know what to do with marketing in this media savvy world that we live in, they can go to eatmedia.com, learn about what you do, and you can help them and really provide them with the services that they're kind of looking for, all in one space, all in one spot.
Yeah,
Right?
so because I'm a general contractor for
Sure.
those answers,
Sure,
so I can actually
right.
ramp and do a lot.
Sure.
I can solve what big agencies do
Right.
with one person, because
Sure.
I'm bringing in like the Hollywood model. You bring in what you need when you need it.
Right.
That's how Hollywood movies are being made.
Sure.
I'm concentrating on a couple of things these days, which I think is really interesting, and we should talk
Sure.
about. It's sometimes called HR, Human Resources Technology, HR Tech.
Yeah.
But it's about employee engagement.
Okay.
So many of us and you're 120 people
Right.
at Blue Vase, They put a lot of time into their day. How are you engaging with them? How are you getting the most out of them? How are
Right.
you applying these philosophies and these techniques that you and I are talking about now
Sure.
to each individual, and allowing them to have the pride
Right.
and the ownership of their career?
Right.
So it's employee engagement happens to be something that I'm using technology to satisfy, mobile apps and digital screens and all that kind of environment at work.
Right.
And ultimately, I believe in this, a nice final comment.
Sure.
It's my noble mobile cause.
Noble mobile cause.
Is
Okay.
helping people with their workday, their career, to be prideful, to be authentic, and to manage their own career. So that's a mission of mine,
Okay.
using technology for better employee experiences.
I love it. Well, again, folks, my name is Michael Alden. We are here today talking to David Cutler from Eat Media. He's a very, very dynamic individual. He's been around. Again, we talk about this. We were joking around earlier. We talk to real people doing real stuff. So, again, if you're interested in digital marketing, you're not really sure what to do, how to do it, go to eatmedia.com. He can kind of help you and talk to you a little bit about really kind of how to navigate this world. And myself owning a marketing company, it's always changing. He seems to be on top of it. Again, my name is Michael Alden. David, thanks for being my guest. We're here in Blue Bay Studios, and we'll see you next time.